All right, I'm playing some one-on-one with my teammates, and we're out here in Tour 3. Logged on with Facebook, so anybody who wants to friendly me, what I should be doing right now is streaming. I should get up after this match. I think that's exactly what I'll do. Bring a Titan. Let's see if I got a bag that's got a Guardian in it. $1.7. It's about 2.0 per ring. A little bit of curl just to bring it back to the fairway. Hit it one ring great to the right. Now it's all about distance getting up there. We want to there's a shelf up there at the top, and we got to get to the top of that shelf. You want to try and reach those shadows. You get to that shadow right there, that's the perfect spot. There's a little flat spot right up there at the top. You don't need to get any farther than that. Depending on which way the wind's blowing, a Guardian has the power. So you can do some backspin stuff, and you don't really need any more topspin than that. You can bring a big dog if you don't have an upper developed Guardian. The whole goal is to get over. If you bring a Guardian, there is a shot. If the wind's blowing in the right direction and you got the right ball, there is a shot. I think it might be with a 4-power ball. There's a shot where you can backspin it right to the cup. You got a pretty decent shot of making it in. This is a tough hole to get a shot down. Tough. I'm not sure which what hole this is. This hole originally got rebranded. It was like in the Creepy Cliffs, or it was a long time ago. I remember when this hole came out. Now the wind is kind of blowing with us, so it's going to blow us a ring and a little. So it's going to put us right in that neighborhood. So we're doing a rough bump here. I'm just going to hit it from right there and let the wind push and see if I can do a rough bump. Hitting it perfect. Just lay it up. A little bit more distance. Four-power ball would definitely work good. I have tried this hole. I have epic failed so many times on this hole, shooting up at the top, like doing it on purpose to see if there's a way, like from way up at the top to get down here. And I have epic failed on this hole in a tournament. I got up there and I was on and two, and I was right on the cup. I almost made the Albie or Eagle, whatever it is, and had a putt that was literally laying on the edge of the cup and missed it. I pulled it back, and the cup started to glow, and I released, and it rolled forward like a quarter of a roll and was still on the edge. Definitely ruined the tournament. I don't know that I was recording back then, but if I was, I probably wouldn't be able to post that video. I was decidedly irritated. This is why this hole is difficult to come in. It's really a tricky spot right here. It's on the side of a hill. It's really hard to get the ball, because if you hit it with the right amount of speed, it breaks right at the very end. If you have just a little bit too much speed, it doesn't pick up the break, and it goes by the hole on the left-hand side. It's a tough hole to get in. It's best to come in from the right and try and get up there with a Guardian so that you can use your backspin to stay on the flat and you don't engage the hill that much. Hitting it perfect. El perfecto. Game. See if Doug wants to play again. Need to force some shootouts so we can get on. That's Nahimi Cliffs. Get on some of the Sakura Hills. What is that? I think his avatar is the little sign at a golf course. I've epic failed on this hole before too. There's a bunch of different ways that you can play this hole. I'm gonna try. There's one. There's two. I epic failed on this hole in a tournament. This was the 18th hole of a tournament, and got here and was in the lead. All I had to do was get an eagle. Ended up getting a birdie. I tanked the drive. I was on the inside, so I can come in a little bit from where I was. That was about a ring and a half. That was 2 ring sets. So that was where I started to the outside of the whites, and then an entire ring set, and then half, and then over so that the whites were touching. So from where I started dead center over was 20 rings. And I'm going to come in from that spot about 3 rings. See if I can get on the other side of it. Nice shot. Well played. Nice shot. So I'm going to play this one about 17 rings. It's on top spin. Let's get up here where we can see it in one pull here. I want to be right there. So there's 10. It's 15, 16, 17. And in that neighborhood, about the same wind. And I got all of it. Let's see if I can catch the fairway on this one. Still not in enough. I came in 3 rings, so I still didn't catch it. I'm right there at the edge of that fairway. So that means on this shot right here, I'm going to go out 14 rings. I'm going to come in 3 more. Trying to work it out. You'll never know what those max horsepower hook shots are unless you go out there and you're willing to burn some balls. And this is awesome time to do stuff like this is with your teammates, because you can go out there and you can take a shot 2 or 3 times. If you're on the same page and you're not making putts like I did last time, you can help your teammate out and we can force shoot out so we have a better shot at getting one of the Sakura Hills holes. Hitting it perfect. Did a little rough bump. That's bad. That'll be in the rough. Now, if I can get this shot to go over, I might actually be able to get myself back in it. So whatever I can get on. I'm going to be right there in the center. There's 5. I'm going to go right to the, in that water. I'm not going to worry about that wind. And I got all of that. Need to be, I could still come in where I need to be, as I need to come in about 2 more rings from where I was at, so that it would be on the, I'd come in on that left-hand edge over there and I might bounce over that sand trap and get me up there. So from where I was at right there, I was just, my bullseye was at fully extended, was just at the beach, the little rocky beach down there. It's like maybe a ring and a half in from that spot. with a big tapa. You could potentially get up there and on. And you can do that shot in expert. You can get on and one in expert. Where am I at in my club? There's max. So I can see it. There's max. There's mid. I'm about mid club. I'm about 4 per ring. Four per ring, so there's half. There's 3/4. Just try and hit it perfect. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. And getting up there close. Good game. One more time. One more time. If we catch that hole again, I'll know where to start now. I'm in about 1.5 rings from that spot and see if I can get over there with a Titan. That's the way to play, bro. So the fun part about playing with your teammates is you can force shoot out. You can get a little bit better practice in. This would be some of the benefits of being in a better clan. So it does give benefit. The people that are at the top are going to get more benefits than the people that are at the bottom. So if you're in the middle, you have to expect that they're going to, that's the whole deal. You're going to want to get towards the top. You're going to want to be in a clan that's up higher. El Perfecto. Good game. Good game. All right, this is one of the holes we're looking for. And this hole right here, I think you can do it with a long iron or a wood. So they're in sniper right there, but I think you can pull back with your wood and be at max wood. And you've got a really nice shot if you've got one with great ball guide that you can just kind of walk it up to the cup. It doesn't take very much movement. It's different than it used to be. There used to be a serious funnel here, and you could, there's another hole in the Sakura Hills that was probably the easiest hole to hole in one, and this one was probably in the top 3 or 4. It was, but they've changed it just a little bit, and it is a little bit more technical trying to get it up there. But I think I've normally taken the shot with a long iron, because with a wood you can bring a small ball, but you're engaging a little bit more backspin. You have to put more on the ball in order to get it to stop. And I want to try and run more up to the cup as opposed to coming in at it from that angle. So there's max. And there's min. So I'm at about mid club right here. The power 3 ball. I'm going to try and just go right at it. 2.7. Mid club, it's 3.0 per ring. I'll do a 10% pull and just pull it 1 ring. Almost pulled 2. Hitting it perfect. See if we can get some run up to it. It's all about speed. I want to try and go more right at it and try not to engage the hill where I'm rolling down and I'm trying to bleed off that hill and use that little backboard to bleed towards it. I want to try and stay in the trough down at the bottom and just go right at it. Game. Rematch. See if we can get an hour's worth of play and see if YouTube will allow me to upload it. I filmed my 99 account and I just filmed it like I normally do, and I just shot video. I shot the first 8 holes, and I was going to run out of space, so I ran hole number 9 by itself, and then I ran 8 holes, and then I stopped for a couple hours and I went to go upload video and it wouldn't upload. So I uploaded the single holes just to get them out of the queue, and I cannot get those bigger videos to upload. Okay, 3-6. I'll have to put a little teeny bit of overpower on it. About a ring. A little over a ring. Hitting it perfect. See if we can get it to bleed up. And if this hole right here, if you end up in the wrong part of the green, you can't make the putt. Like that putt looks like it's just right there, but there's putts on this green that are max overpower. And if you're on the other side out by the fringe, you can't make the putt. Like you can't make it. Like you can't even get to it. It's one of the old style greens, and the old style greens, I liked it better when it was the old way. You were always pissed off when you got caught in that spot where it's like, hey, you have no shot. And that's like being out on the real golf course and being on one of those massive greens, and you have a shot at it, but it's not very good. I mean, even the pros don't make those shots from that distance very often. That's why they get highlights. I missed Pamela's invite after this. So if you're watching, I'm just gonna switch to a different teammate. Let's see if I can make this putt. This is what I'm talking about. That's a max putt. Isn't it perfect? I can't believe I made that putt. I am such a crappy putter that I thought about. I'm such a crappy putter that I thought about just like putting it just a little bit forward, letting them get on. But I'm such a crappy putter, I figured I'd miss it. I can't believe that I didn't have to go into any power there. So they might have gone back and redesigned some of these holes. I still think if you're on the other side, though, you're probably in a max putt. Wicked greens. I've played some holes in the courses in the real world that had greens that were like this, that were monsters. And so where you hit on the green, it mattered. Big time. Getting on the green wasn't the point. Getting over there where the hole was at was the point. Damn. See if Pamela picks me up. Let me open up some chests. Let's get some clear slots here. Do our club card trading for the day. Trading in some darts. And it's going to be one of the slow-mo days. Half the time it goes fast, and half the time it goes slow. Tap to open. I tapped it. Tapped it. Da-da-da-da. Sooner or later, the crappy thing is sooner or later I'm going to have to put stuff into that down in winter to get it off the chart. So it's not down here anymore. I'm trying to get rid of, I'm going to have to get rid of these rares. I know that B52 looks tempting, but the deal is that when you think about how many cards it takes and how many cards you have when you're working up, I do have an excess of cards. So, but there are some epics that I really want to try and get up in level. And so every time those come in, I'm getting them. And if I see them in the shop, I buy one. Just trying to work them up the scale, like the off-roader. I really want to get my off-roader up. when the off-roader gets up to like level 7 and 8, like if, because I'm never going to get all of my epics up to level 7 and 8, but if I can get, there's a few of them that are definitely worth getting up to 7 and 8, and the off-roader is one of them. Just through play, I've got my Horizon. I think my Horizon's almost maxed out, but I've got my, or almost to level, I just got it to level 7. But my big topper, I got to level 7 just through tournament play, just through rookie tournament play and just playing the rookie stuff, because you get a lot of those cards. There's not a lot of epics in Tour 3 and below, and so you get a lot of big topper cards, and big topper is an awesome club when it gets up in level. It's in between. It's where the old rock used to be. It's in between the quarterback range and the extra mile range. So at 225, there's a lot of stuff that you can get done with it. I'm gonna play a power 5 ball here just because I want to see, and I've got the Guardian in here, and I love the Guardian on this next shot. There is a, I'm gonna go right towards that rough, right there. Right towards that, right towards the tip of that rough. Take the wind out. There's 2, 3. Got the side wind out. Hit it 2 rings great to the left. Just float it down there. You really want to get to this shadow. You have to get to that shadow in order to do it. So hitting that, clipping that cost me getting over 400, and you need to get up to that shadow right there for your absolute best shot. When I was shooting the walkthrough, I shot the walkthrough today for the Sakura Hills 9-hole cup, and one of the viewers was talking about doing the max overpower hook here. I would imagine that there probably is. You might be able to get down there farther with a max overpower hook. I am convinced that you do get more yardage. You might have to do a reverse hook. It might have to be all of the side spin, one to the left. You're doing a max overpower hook to the right, but you're putting on side spin to the left to try and bring your ball back in a straight line. My opponent got up there with a sniper. I brought a Guardian, so I got a lot more raw distance, and I hit farther forward. I'm right at the limit, so if you got lower developed stuff, coming here with a big dog, you get that same kind of yardage is the way to go. So the thing here is, when you're playing one-on-one, in tournament play, there's a funnel back here we can get on, and we can come down to the hole. But in one-on-one play, the whole deal is to get up there and get your, put your opponent in a bind. That's 2-2. That's a 5%. One ring great to the right. And it caught the flat and scooted across instead of just rolling out onto the green and hitting that break. See how steep that hill is? It'll hit that break. But it caught down there on some transition and went flat. It started off flat. I mean, as soon as it was on the green, it was already rolling flat. Now I opened the door for my opponent. If you're playing one-on-one, especially when you're playing in upper tours, the whole deal is that let your opponent make their mistakes and understand that you're going to go to a lot of shootouts. But if your opponent makes a mistake, you really got to pounce on it. Like stop trying to really go for it and just go up there and get your eagle. Put the pressure on them. Not tank it into the rough like I just did. Pamela's kicking my ass. Now this might be one of those shots that we can't use the top spin because we'll end up going too far past the cup. From this distance, wind should not play a factor. I'm going to go slightly on the outside of the outside edge. And at one ring great to the right. So where I set it up, that might go in. Wind was not a factor. Close. Yes, sir. I love the trees that are on this course. I remember I have fond memories of playing Tour 3 when I first started playing. It was a really fun tour. The holes that are here now have these holes have been here for a while, so these are really, really fun courses. A lot of short iron stuff. So you get an opportunity to practice your short irons. All right, we're back on this hole. I got a power 5 ball, so I can get way up there. I'm going to try minimum club. Hey, get out here where I can see you. One four. It's about a half a ring, and it's a little less than half a ring. Trying to hit it perfect. Hit it one ring great to the right. I was going to hit it one way or the other. Great to the right might not be bad. I've got a lot of work to do on that, but you got to get that hole is definitely going to be one of those holes that we got to bring the right stuff to. It'd probably be best to bring whatever. You could bring as small a ball as you can. You could bring a low wind ball. I'm not sure what those ones that they're selling right now are. I think they are power 1 low wind. You could bring a power 1 ball there. Be closer to red line, closer towards minimum club. I think we've landed on this hole with a power 3 and a power 5. So power 3, I was in mid club. Power 1, I could probably push it up there towards the red line. Give you a little bit of adjustability and go straight at it. See if my opponent can get in. Perfecto. See if my teammate can get in. That right there is fantastic. Well played. Good game. See if Bama will play again. That's what happens when you tank a shot and you're playing one-on-one. You go out there and you're all ahead. All you got to do is just get out there on the green and make your putt. You take a shot and then you end up losing the shootout. So never count your coins until you see winner over your head. This is a hole right here that we can get on and win. Let me see what I can do with that big topper. I got that big topper, but I haven't really played with it a lot. Just to see what more it can do. Big toppers are always good clubs. Some of the stuff about having multiple bags, it would be nice during a tournament if you only had one bag. You better bring the right bag when you're in a tournament. Because if you brought the wrong bag, you were screwed because you didn't have any backup. And if you needed a club on there, or you needed a big topper, or you needed a big dog, and you didn't use a big dog very often, you only needed it for 2 holes that tournament, you had to take it out and practice with it to get used to the ball guide. And so you were committed on a lot of holes. You'd go out there and you go, okay, I've got to take my big dog. I'll tell you, you learned how to play them very quick. It's 3.8. It's 2.0 per ring, right in that neighborhood. 2.1. And I'll put a little bit of overpower on it just to put it back up there. Getting it perfect. See if we can get it up on the green. See how short it is. In the rough. I think with an extra mile 8, extra mile 9 with a power 5 ball, you don't have to do any overpower at all. I like my chances with my Nirvana when I'm up close. That Nirvana is your sand wedge and your rough iron are the most accurate clubs in your bag when you get close. And your wedge is your most accurate club. Because if you're super close, if the ring set is super close to the first spot where you're hitting the ball, the closer you are, the more accurate that club is. That club is the most accurate. And then probably your rough iron and your sand wedge, just depending on their raw accuracy. But the deal is you got to hit these shots perfect. At least that's what they say. All right, you got to hit it perfect, and I might be able to hit it great to the left. And I did hit it great to the left. It might be a little short. Sometimes when you don't change the, if you run out your topspin on your rough iron like that, and you're on the green, in most cases it's lying to you, and it'll hit the green and it'll roll really fast. So the way to combat that is to put it out on the rough, especially with your Spitfire. As your Spitfire goes up in level, you get lots of topspin. So you can run it out there so you can go out on the fringe or out on the fairway. And by changing the first bounce surface, the ball guide will be telling you the truth. You can trust the ball guide. When you start off with that rough iron, sometimes on the green like that, sometimes it's lying to you and sometimes it's not. And so when it's lying to you, it can go really fast. So you need to hit the flagpole. So I was trying to aim right at the flagpole, just like right in front of the cup, hoping that it was a fast one. And it was a slow one. This used to be the hole. This used to be the #1 hole to get hole-in-ones on. I'd like to be a couple rings off that transitional surface. You used to just be able to, wonder if I can engage my, if I put a little bit of topspin, is there any spot out here where I can engage my, I'll just make an adjustment. I'll just shoot it up there. Hitting it perfect. Whatever that setup was, 1.5 topspin, what, something. It looked like, in the past, it's been like maybe a half a back. Like if you were hitting against headwind, it might be like a half a topspin. If you're hitting with tailwind, it might be just a sliver of backspin. If you're hitting sidewind, it might be just a little of either, just depending. I know that if you ever come out here and you can end up, if you play this in a tournament and you tank your shot, something happens, you got lag, whatever, and you end up over here, you can't get to the cup because this finger is in the way, and you can't get around the bend to get to the cup. You can't get it to roll that way. And there's putts from over here that you can't even get to the hole. I ended up over there one time. I can't remember what happened, but I ended up over there, and it might have been in a practice round, and I came here and I was trying something stupid. I was trying a rough bump or trying something stupid. I ended up over there, and it was really bad, really bad. 5.63. Good game. Good game. How much I got on this video? 35 minutes. Another 15. A couple more holes. Okay, this is definitely one of the holes in the tournament, and I want to play this with a Hornet. Make sure I got a Hornet in this bag. It doesn't really matter which driver. Actually, let me see something here. That's where Titan can get me. I just want to see what happens if I hit out there, like with all that topspin. There may be like, how far back am I in the trees before I get to the deal? So there was a red tree right there. Yeah, I've got a ways to go. So I'm gonna try a 5 Powerball on the next one. I'm gonna burn a 5 Powerball to try it. There used to kid. Why you used to kid? there used, when this hole originally came out, there used to be a way to go through those trees and you could do a max overpower shot. It was super dangerous, and coming out on the other side is super narrow. So you had to hit like a particular window or you were screwed. It was a dangerous shot, but it looks like they've probably taken it out. They've taken out, there's a bunch of holes that they've taken some shots out. There's a lonely tree standing out in the middle somewhere on the left-hand side of the course. That's like, why is that tree there? Because that tree takes out the max overpower hook, or that group of trees. They moved in closer to the course. Oh, now you're not going to let me pick ball. You let me change bags. All right. All right. I guess I don't get to take it again. Here's the deal with this shot. You can do a max backspin shot with a rock and a quarterback, whatever, and you can land right here. See this tree? I'm trying to be just where when it comes down here to a rest, I'm seeing the outside edge of that tree. Hitting it perfect. So it'll be a straight line to the cup and the outside edge of this tree. I'm trying to get as close to this mouth that's coming up here so that I'm in a straight line with that mouth. I could actually lay it up a little bit more and put it to the left with some side spin by using that rock or a QB, because the QB is not going to have as much raw distance. You could use a QB or a rock, and you could backspin. A rock would probably be better because you'd have more room. So most people that come at this hole are going to come at it with some kind of backspin. Very few people are going to try and do the bounce over, and that rough bump is brutal. But there's big, big risks here. So if you overpull this and you hit too deep on that hill, you're going to go straight up in the air and you're going to end up in the sand, just like that ball guide showed. Or it can hit up there, and if it's got enough backspin, it can suck it down the hill and it'll end up just like that. You're going to see a lot of people do that. Now, as the week goes on, less and less people will do that. But you're going to see a lot of people do that. That's how people are going to approach this hole. And there is a shot right here with a grizzly or a hornet, just depending on what you get up there with. So I'm right at minimum grizzly, which is 1.75 per ring. .75, and I'm going to do 3. So 2 rings is 3.5. There's 1.75, there's 3.5, so we're a little shy of that. Just try and get it in the cup. Hit it 1 ring great to the left. Just a bit outside. And you can take a nice, easy shot at that. You don't have to do any of that backspin. You don't have to take any of those risks. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It has very little maneuver on the ball. You don't have to put a whole lot on it. If you get a little teeny bit more aggressive, you can get up there into your hornet range, or if you bring a bigger ball, you can get in your hornet range. But the problem with getting in hornet range is that the more you try and close the gap to get into your short iron range, the more you close the window to that opening. And so you need to be farther to the right and probably a bigger ball if you want to be in your hornet range. I have taken that shot with a hornet, but I think I've taken that shot a lot with the hornet. I think I could get a little bit closer. Are they up and on? No, they're in trouble. It's hard to miss when you're that close. You can hit it over the hole, though. Ah, now it's all becoming clear. I took that shot, that first shot through the trees. I forgot all about that shot. Good game. I think I got time for one more. Let them win some cheddar. Rematch. Where are we at? We're at 41. We might have time for two more. Nahamie Cliffs. Let's see what this hole is. I can't remember these holes by the little pictures, and I surely don't remember them by name. It's 2.1 per ring, so that's a half a ring. And I'm going to rub the nubs and overpower just so that I can overcompensate for that. Hit it one ring great to the right. So it takes the risk of clipping the rough on this bounce right here and getting caught up in it. I actually think there's a shot, like in one-on-one play, there's a shot on this hole coming at it. Instead of trying to get to that area, I think there's a shot, there's a rough bump shot. Just trying to bleed it out into that area. If you put all of the topspin on and you try and get into that rough, you'll just bleed right out into this area, and it'll give you a pretty consistent shot. Or coming in this direction, using your topspin from over here and trying to do a second bounce rough bump and then just bleed out. What's up, Buster Boy? See if Pamela can get the wind direction right. I got the wind direction and didn't hit it perfect. They are in the rough as well. This still isn't a bad shot from here from the rough. Where you can epic fail by doing that shot is if you end up on the left-hand side and you're caught up in those trees. That's a risk. There's max. There's mid. I'm getting into that 8 per ring deal. So a half a ring would be 4. And half of that would be 2. So I'm going to move it 2 ring, or a quarter of a ring. Oh, 2 rings great to the right. Should let that settle down a little bit. Not quite enough distance, but I wasn't that far off the cup. So if if you're watching this stuff for the first time or you haven't been watching for a long time and you go, dude, that's not enough. When you're with your sand, that was a rough iron and like 1/3 club. That's thing super accurate. It's just accurate in a different way. We think of smaller rings as accurate. We think of a quarterback or a sniper, one per ring, and that's accurate. But when your rough irons get, the closer you bring them to you, and I say 8 per ring, I mean, think about how it's just little teeny micro adjustments. It doesn't seem like a lot where you're moving it because you're moving it at the pivot point at the ring set. But way down on the other end, that angle, what was that? What is the rule? There's a nautical rule. It's like for every 60 nautical miles you go in one direction, if you're 1 degree off, you'll be a mile off. But way back at the beginning where you started, that 1 degree was nothing. It didn't look like nothing. It just looked like a little micro adjustment. But on the other end, it was big. Put the ball to draw. Getting in the hole with a katana. Going to a shootout. Let's see if we got enough after this hole. 46 minutes. That might be pushing it. This might be the last one. And I think we might have one more. Maybe. We're playing the shootout, so by the time this is done, it'll probably be towards 50, 49. I know this hole right here, I've made more grates to the right. There's a spot out here, and if you hit it perfect in that same spot, it'll go in, but if you hit it great to the right, it'll go in as well. But there is a trough that's right. There's a little mound just to the, if you go back and rewind that video, right where the bounce is that you can see on the green, just a little bit to the right of that. There's a little hill that just rolls right down to the cup. And if you can hit it just right, it'll just fall off of it and go to the cup. That little, yep, that's the one right there. It's this little mound right here. It just troughs, it just rolls around, and then when it gets up here to the flat, it just feeds whatever's on it right to the cup. So if you have your speed right, even if you catch a grate to the left or the right, .2. It's about 1.2. Since you can't get down there to it, since you're about a mile downhill. Hitting it perfect. Not quite enough speed. With that little teeny sliver of backspin on there, and I should have just left it like it was. Maybe just a sliver of topspin. The slightest sliver. Good game. Let's see if we can get one more in. One more in. If the video stops, and the video more than likely will, it's at almost 59 or 49 minutes. So if the video stops, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, hit subscribe. When I first started paying attention to it, I had, all right, we're on this hole again. When I first started paying attention, like 52% of the people that viewed the channel were not subscribers, and 48 were, and now I've kind of changed that around. I have picked up some of you. Okay, there's a half a ring off, so there's one. There's 2.5. It's 2.5 rings. I'm going to take that wind. I'm going to address that wind. See if I can catch that fairway up there. So I took this shot earlier on the video. If you've watched this far, and I was trying to work my way over to the fairway and get past that sand trap. So I went in from where I was, I went in about 2.5 rings. If I came in from where I started off right there, where I was just at the rocky beach and there's a tree, and I was almost completely out of the tree on the right-hand side. Starting in that spot, I came in about 2.5 to the left. I came in about 2.5 rings, fully extended. But I came in like maybe 1.25, trying to shoot that gap. You need to shoot where I hit. You need to hit here, bounce over, so that you can get bounces that come over this. I took it 3 times before I finally caught it, and I ended up in that sand down there. So I'm moving it to the left to try and avoid that sand trap. See if I can find a max overpower hook shot down there. I was taking it with a big tapa. Seeing what that big tapa can do. Taking it for a test drive. That will work. That will work. Nice shot. Here's the benefit of a Spitfire. Spitfire. You can get over there. That is Graham. That is Super Graham. I don't normally like to take this shot. I usually come at it from the other side, but got some lag. I was trying to hit it to the right, and that's definitely going to be to the right. That is funnier than hell. That is funny. I've never had that happen before. I've actually caught it so bad that it bounced off the rocks and bounced to the other side. That's awesome. I usually come at it from the right. The Spitfire works really well for getting you up there. You've got all kinds of options, especially over on this side right here, where you can engage all your backspin, and you can put side spin and curl on it. And I know that too, backspin doesn't look like a lot, but on a Spitfire it is a lot of backspin. And I really don't care what kind of video somebody shows me of ball trajectory or ball height, how it actually plays and responds when it hits versus like what it may film out to. That Spitfire, because it comes in, it hits very high, it comes to a stop really quick, so any backspin on it works really, really, really well. It's easy to roll off the back of this green, and I do not like these types of putts right here where you can't see the cup. And Spitfire is like your rapier. It's got tons of topspin, but where it's at right here, it's lying its ass off. It's going to run really fast when it gets to the cup. From this distance, wind is going to play a factor, so it's going to push it off. Out, and I hit it 2 rings great to the left. Ended up 2 rings great to the left. I knew there was a reason that shot from that island was dangerous, and that's the reason why right there. It didn't help that I hit it good. Get in the hole. I think there might be just enough time to get this in, since we're definitely not going to a shootout. Isn't it perfect? Getting in the hole. Get in the hole. That works. Nice shot. game, and good luck. Thanks, Pamela. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great day, and hopefully everybody will have a great Sakura Hills 9-hole cup. Thanks for watching.